Hey, how's it going? Kenny here, and welcome to this Football Manager Experiment video where I've taken the top 7 clubs in the Premier League and I've removed them from the game. Have you ever wondered what the Premier League would be like without the so-called top 6 clubs? Well, I made it into the top 7 for the sake of this video because I think you have to include Newcastle in there, especially the fact that they finished 4th in the league this season and they are arguably the richest club in the world right now. So if anything, it's going to be a top 7 we'll be talking about very soon, or Newcastle may even boot Tottenham out of the so-called top 6. So in terms of the Premier League table, as you can see here, all I've done is, well, first of all, I haven't actually deleted the clubs. I've actually just sent them to the Brazilian 3rd Division, so they are far enough away from us as possible. They won't prove any sort of hindrance in this experiment video. So the clubs still do exist, but in the Brazilian 3rd Division, I swapped them with 7 Brazilian 3rd Division teams who are now sitting in the Ballon National. I've also released all the players from those top 7 clubs, the likes of Haaland, Kane, De Bruyne, Sterling, etc. Some of them have gone to obvious clubs, such as Haaland, for example. He's gone to PSG. Salah's gone to Bayern Munich, I believe. But also some strange ones in there as well. Harry Kane has stayed at London. He's gone to West Ham. Phil Foden as well has gone to Everton. And Kai Havertz has gone to Aston Villa. So, as you can see from the teams here, I've called up the top 7 teams of the Championship this season. So you can see it here, you've got Sunderland, Sheffield United, Luton, Borough, Coventry. Then you've also got Blackburn in there as well, and Burnley, of course. So in all the top 4 divisions in in England, I've done exactly the same thing. So the top 7 teams are in from League One are in the Championship now, etc, etc. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see what will happen in today's video. Without these so-called big clubs in our league, will the league just go completely downhill, or will there be maybe not 7 teams, but maybe 3 or 4 teams that will take their place of the so-called big clubs? I'm looking at teams such as Aston Villa, Everton, of course, 2 big clubs. Leicester as well, even though they got relegated in real life, arguably on FootballManager. Without those top 7 teams, you can argue the case they've got the best squad in the league now. So yeah, interesting to see what will happen. In this video, I'll be going forward to 1 season, then 10 seasons, and I'm going to finish off the video 30 seasons in the future. Who will reign supreme? First of all, though, let's go forward to 1 season. Let's see who will win the league. Well, 1 season in, already looking at the league table, it looks very, very strange about these big clubs in it. But the team who actually won the league title in the first season was Fulham. Fulham won the league title, and Mitrovic as the top goal scorer, of course. Even though these top 7 clubs have gone, that doesn't mean there's no good players left in the league. Of course, Declan Rice, one of the best players in the Premier League, you'd say, in the midfield position anyway. He's still playing for West Ham, of course. He's now joined by Harry Kane. Aston Villa finished 2nd in the league, though, 7 points off Fulham. And you've got Fulham, Villa, Southampton and Brentford all playing in next season's Champions League. Wolves are qualified for the Europa League. Also out these big clubs, you're getting teams winning got a much bigger chance of winning the cup competitions, as you can see here. Leeds must have won the Carabao Cup, and Crystal Palace must have won the FA Cup as well. Middlesbrough, Luton and Sunderland have gone back down to the Championship. Also, I want to see, is it going to be possible for any of these clubs to win the Champions League in 30 seasons? I think after 30 seasons, got to see one of them win the Champions League. Surely one of them has to step up at least. But in the early stages here, in the first 10 seasons, will any of them make a dent in Europe? We'll find out in a sec. Before we get started with the results from 10 seasons in, guys, please remember that if you like this video, hit that like button for me. If you're still watching the video at this point, then you must like it a little bit. Either that or you forgot to turn it off. So do me a favour and hit that like button for me. It really does help out the video. And also, if you're new around here, do hit that subscribe button as well. It'd really help me out, and you much appreciate as well. Well, 10 seasons in, and I think it's safe to say we have got a dominant force in the Premier League, and it is Aston Villa. They just recently won the league here, as you can see, 16 points clear of Wolves in 2nd place. If you actually look down here on the past winners, since we last left off there, Aston Villa have won 7 of the 10 league titles. So looking a bit like the new Man City of the league. Whether they're as good as Man City are in Europe or not, it's a different question. Although saying that, at the time of recording here, Man City is still yet to ever win the Champions League. So maybe that's a stupid comparison, but I think in a week or two, they will have won the Champions League, to be honest. But Aston Villa are doing good things. 7 titles in 10 seasons. Also West Ham, should mention them as well. They've won 2 titles in those times. And also Wolves in there as well. So only 4 winners of the Premier League so far. Villa out in front with 7, of course. Then you've got West Ham with 2, Fulham with 1, and Wolves with 1. So technically, I'm 11 seasons in now, not 10 seasons in. I went 10 seasons further after the last after the first season there. So 11 seasons in terms of teams qualifying for the Champions League, well, you've got Villa, of course. It looks like Villa, Wolves and West Ham are the three biggest clubs in the league at the moment. We'll check out the reputation in a minute, actually. Palace are qualified for the Champions League as well, and Brentford. I'm a little bit surprised Everton haven't won a league title yet. Obviously, they're quite a big team. And Leicester, where on earth are Leicester? Are Leicester not even in the Premier League anymore? Well, they will be back in the Premier League next season, but Leicester down in the Championship as well. Without the top 7 clubs, they still can't do too much things there. Also, it's interesting to see some of the players. 10 seasons in, they're still kicking about. As you can see here from the top goal scorers, you've got Alvarez, who's playing for Southampton, and then you've got Havertz, who's playing for Aston Villa as well. Havertz, Aston Villa have won 7 league titles in 10 seasons, so he must have been a crucial part of the Aston Villa team. As you can see here, he's been a very, very crucial part of the Aston Villa team. He only played 18 games in the first season. That is because I forgot to turn off disable first window transfer activity. So all these released players from the top 7 clubs only joined their new clubs in January. But look at his record after that. Absolutely insane. He scored 31, then 30, 29, 30. Oh my, what, absolutely insane, really. Kai Havertz. Where is this Kai Havertz in real life? In 9 seasons in a row for Aston Villa, he scored a minimum of 24 league goals in every single season. Kai Havertz or Erling Haaland, I have no idea. What a player he's been for Villa. Absolutely crazy. And could be instrumental to their success. And also, Alvarez is playing for Southampton as well, of course. He's 33. He's joining Barcelona at the end of the season, though. He's played a lot for Southampton as well, and he's scored lots of goals for Southampton as well. So a little bit surprising they haven't won any league titles. Let's go check out the reputation then from the clubs. I'm sure Aston Villa must be the highest rated. Yeah, Villa are the highest rated club in the Premier League, and they've got 4.5-star reputation, which of course is very nice. Not quite the 5-star that Man City and Liverpool are, but 4.5-star worldwide reputation. It's definitely taken a bit of a hit, the top clubs of the league. It looks like we've got a top 5 now. Yeah, we've got a top 5 now. You've got Villa, Wolves, West Ham, Palace and Brentford. Obviously, Villa, Wolves and West Ham have all won a league title. At least one, of course. Palace and Brentford in the mix here as well. They're both continental clubs. So Chelsea, Arsenal and Tottenham from London have been replaced by West Ham, Palace and Brentford. Even Fulham up there in the mix as well. Of course, they won the first league title. But Villa, they look like the best. Well, they are. Villa are the best team in England right now. Of course, we've got 20 more seasons left to go, so it may change, but Villa are really doing good things. Let's check out the Champions League and the other European competitions as well. Has any of these teams won the Champions League? No, it doesn't look like it. PSG have dominated things, as you see here. PSG have won 6 of the 11 titles. Bayern Munich have won 3, and then Barcelona and Real Madrid. Aston Villa, though, have got 2 Champions League finals to their name. Back-to-back finals as well. Unfortunately, they lost both of them. But at least they're getting the Champions League finals, even after, 5 or 6 seasons? So that's really nice. Lost to PSG and Barcelona, of course. Aston Villa, they have won a Champions League in the past, back in the 80s, I believe it was. Yeah, back in 1982. So they've definitely got it in their history, but would be able to do it in the modern history here, with supposedly being the biggest club in England. Also, let's check out the Europa League. Any winners of the Europa League? Yes, a few winners, actually. Wolves have won it. So they've won a league title and the Europa League. So Wolves are doing good things. Fulham have won a Europa League as well as a league title, of course. And Palace, one of the so-called Big Five now, they have won a Europa League as well. The most recent Europa League, actually, beat Napoli in the final. Also, Brentford have got to a final as well. Brentford have got to 2 finals, sorry. They lost to Köln and Bayer Leverkusen. So, yeah, doing things in the Europa League. Haven't quite won a Champions League yet, but Villa have got to 2 finals. It'd be nice to see. Well, I think one team should win the Champions League between now and the end of the video. And the Europa Conference League, Everton have won the Europa Conference League. Fulham have won that as well. So, Fulham are doing good things. Also, one more thing I want to check before we go forward to 30 seasons deep. I want to check out the actual Ballon d'Or. Yeah, I want to see if any Premier League player has won the Ballon d'Or in recent times. This is the goal 50. Is that the Ballon d'Or? I always get confused with them. No, Benzema's not there, so it must be the World Golden Ball, right? Yes, the World Golden Ball is the Ballon d'Or. I always get confused with these awards, but yeah, it looks like there's no Premier League winners on here. When was the last time someone won it from the Premier League, though, to be fair? Ronaldo back in 2008. So, yeah, a long time since someone from the Premier League won the Ballon d'Or. A bit strange considering we have the best league in the world. I genuinely believe we have got the best league in the world, but don't necessarily get the best of players. And it's, yeah, it seems like this in this simulation video as well. We had an Englishman win the Ballon d'Or. Of course, that is Bellingham, who's playing for PSG. Any Premier League players in the top 3, though? No, unfortunately, no Premier League players even made the top 3 of any season for the Ballon d'Or. So, yeah, that's it's a bit underwhelming. A bit underwhelming. And also, if you can see here by the competition reputation, went down to 4th in terms of the best leagues in the world. So, now back up to 2nd. So, it started off a little bit iffy, as you can imagine. We got rid of all the big clubs in England. Aston Villa have certainly been the only team to fully step up into that position there for them. But Wolves, West Ham are doing things as well. Well, pretty much the top 6 teams look like a top 6, you could say. You know, probably got to add Fulham into that list. They've won 2 European trophies and a Premier League title. So maybe this is the start of something good again for the Premier League. Will we get back to top? Will we start winning Champions Leagues again? And will we get a player to win the Ballon d'Or? Well, we're going to go forward to 30 seasons now. Let's see if any of those things happen. Well, 30 seasons in, and I think it's safe to say we have a new big dog of the league. All I can see down here is Brentford. Look at that. Brentford, it finally stops in 2046, but Brentford are currently on. They have currently won 7 league titles on the bounce. I think it's safe to say Brentford are firmly on top now. Aston Villa, by the way, have really tumbled down the league, down to 16th place now. So it seems like they went through just a bit of a purple patch, to be honest. They couldn't sustain it for a very long period of time. Although saying that 7 titles in 10 seasons is pretty damn good. But 16th in the league now, that's disappointing. Anyway, let's check out the full past winners now. Oh my word, look at this from Villa though. Look at this from Villa. I think it's safe to say they was on the top for a long time. A long time. So they actually won the league title 7 out of 10 seasons, didn't they? So it must have stopped here in 2033. That, when we last left off there, that was their first title of 11 in a row. 11 league titles in a row for Aston Villa. And they actually won 18 titles in 21 seasons. So, yeah, I think I'm being a bit harsh on Villa there. I think it's safe to say they dominated English football for a long time. They really have fallen off a cliff now, though. But look, it's a similar teams here, though. It's only really, what? In the whole video here today, there's only been 5 different winners of the Premier League, which is strange. Villa have won 21 of them. No, sorry. Villa have won 18 of the league titles. Brentford have won 7 in a row, of course. Wolves have won 3, West Ham 2, and Fulham 2. So, yeah, certain teams have certainly stepped up. Everton, nowhere to be seen. What on earth is going on there? I thought there was a big club. Obviously not anymore these days, but Brentford are really dominating things. Fulham have had very good longevity, it has to be said. They've only won 2 league titles, but loads of second-place finishes, like we saw in the previous simulation there. They won a couple of European trophies already, but obviously Villa stand out massively. They've done really well, but disappointing the fact they can't sustain it for the whole 30 years here. But yeah, let's check out the list for the clubs now then. Are Villa still a big club? No, they really have gone. Well, they haven't gone down. Look at all the worldwide teams now. So it really has improved since the last simulation there. Brentford are on top though. They're now a 5-star reputation team and worldwide, of course. We've also got over 8 teams here with worldwide reputation and 4.5 stars. So it's taken the top 7 even further. You've got the likes of Forest in there now. Fulham, West Ham have maintained it the whole time. Luton up there, West Brom as well, Southampton, Wolves and Villa, of course. So it seems like Palace are taking a big tumble as well, down to a national club with only 3.5-star reputation. But yeah, very interesting. Villa sustained it for quite a long time, but Brentford, Fulham and West Ham especially really have kept up the longevity in this simulation video here. So very interesting. Anyway, let's go check out the Champions League then. Did any of these clubs finally win the Champions League? Before I check the Champions League though, I want to see if the Premier League's back on top again. It is back on top, and it has been for a fair few seasons at least. So that is great. It took a little bit of a tumble once these top 7 clubs went, but I think it's safe to say by this video, we will do well without them. We don't need them. Other clubs will step up in their place and continue English football for a good long time. But anyway, let's prove that, and let's see if they did actually win any Champions Leagues. Okay, not too many clubs in here have won the Champions League, but look at that. The latest winner was an English club, and it was Nottingham Forest. Might look a bit strange to some of you youngsters watching, but Nottingham Forest, of course, did win the Champions League back in the 70s. They won it back-to-back, didn't they? They won it back-to-back, or am I making that up? Yeah, of course they did. Won it back-to-back. 1979 and 1980, they won it back-to-back. So, not too strange seeing Forest win the Champions League there. Also, Brentford have won 2 Champions Leagues, so they really have been dominating English football in recent times. Did Villa ever win one? Villa did win one. They won it in 2038. So it seems like Villa at their peak weren't quite as good as what Brentford are at their peak. Although Villa won 11 league titles in a row, 18 out of 21. They only won 1 Champions League in that time. But Brentford have won 7 league titles on the bounce. They've also won 2 Champions Leagues as well. Look at that. Oh my word. Brentford have also got to 4 more finals as well. So they've got to 6 finals, Brentford. Brentford actually competed in 6 out of 9 Champions League finals. They only won 2 of them, unfortunately, but they still won 2. They lost 4 as well. It seemed like Brentford and Inter Milan were a popular Champions League final. Any other teams get to a final? Oh my word, look at this. Aston Villa. Well, at least they actually won one. Otherwise it'd be embarrassing. But they lost 3 finals in a row. And they lost 6 Champions League finals in total as well. So, although we haven't got too many winners of the Champions League, we have lots and lots of English teams who competed in the final. So, that's very interesting. Any other clubs in here? Wolves got to the final as well. Lost to Bayern Munich. That's it though. So, only 4 teams have been in a Champions League final. Brentford and Villa, the most prevalent by quite a distance. But also Forest have won one. And Wolves lost a Champions League final. What about the Europa League then? I'm expecting more winners of the Europa League. Well, West Brom won one. Bournemouth as well. Villa, West Ham, Forest, Southampton, Brentford. Luton have won one as well. Luton have won 3 actually. Southampton again. Palace managed to win they won that in the last simulation, didn't they? So yeah, lots and lots of clubs have won the from England have won the Europa League. Lots of finals as well here. Aston Villa love a European final, it seems. They did win a Europa League and a Champions League, so that's great for them. And what about the Europa Conference League? Villa have won one of them as well. Wolves have won one. Palace have won one. Bournemouth, Southampton, West Ham, Palace again. Even Norwich won a Europa Conference League as well. So, yeah, many European wins for the English clubs. Not so many Champions Leagues. I don't think either of them can say that they're the biggest club in the world. Brentford, I think, are knocking on the door, to be honest. As you can see, they've won 2 Champions League in recent years, and they've already got to a couple of finals in recent years as well. Also, Forest have just won the Champions League. So, a little bit dominated by some of the Italian, Spanish and German clubs, that is for sure. But it looks like the Premier League and the clubs are almost back on top, which is brilliant. One thing I haven't checked here as well is the actual cup competitions in England. In terms of the FA Cup, did Villa win loads in that period as well? They won 3 in a row, actually, in the 2030s. All the usual suspects, isn't it? You know, you've got Palace in here. Southampton is in there quite a bit now as well. Bournemouth, West Ham, Brentford, Villa, of course. Norwich in there. Luton, like quite a decent period in the 40s. Brentford as well, they're just really on top, aren't they, right now, Brentford? Really are on top. Well, it took a while, but we finally got a player from the Premier League who won a Ballon d'Or. And it came in 2042. Alex Evangelinos, who plays for Crystal Palace at the time, he won it at the ripe old age of 33 as well. At the age of 33, how nice is that? He was a left midfielder and he got 13 goals and 18 assists in that season. So that was great. Then we had some sort of genius in our league, it seems. He played for Wolves. His name was Deniz Akin, and he won 4 Ballon d'Ors in 5 years. The other year it was won by a player who played for West Ham called David Protacchio. And also we had a Ballon d'Or winner from Fulham. He won it twice, Hamza Amtag. So yeah, it seems like the biggest players in the world did end up in the Premier League at some point, it seems. Of course, Messi, Ronaldo spent most of his time outside the Premier League, but obviously we do have some great players in the Premier League as well. But it seems like Deniz Akin, especially in his time there, 4 out of 5 seasons, was definitely the best player in the world. So, yeah, the Premier League really has gone back up after losing those top 7 clubs. Aston Villa seemed like the only team to really make that big step up. But now we're seeing great things from Brentford. So that is the end of the video, guys. I think it's been quite interesting, to tell you the truth. It seems like the Premier League would survive without these top 7 clubs. It would take a while to get back up to the promised land, but these teams will eventually take their place and continue to ensure that the Premier League remains, in our view anyway, the best league in the world, which is great. And yeah, very interesting. Aston Villa winning 18 league titles in 21 seasons was crazy. And Brentford winning 7 in a row and also getting to 6 Champions League finals. So that is the end of the video, guys. As I said before, please remember to hit that like button if you like the video. It really does help the video out a lot. And also, it'll help let me know about making more videos like this in the future. And also, if you're new around here, do consider hitting that subscribe button. It'd really help me out and much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.